Tip number 139 from the book 501 Contractor Tips, Job Site Accounting. You will need to know where you're at exactly at every point of the project. And if you do know exactly where you're at, you will be able to make corrections sometimes along the way. But if you have 5 jobs going and money in the bank, let's just say you got 5 jobs going right now, and 2 months ago you had $8,000 in the bank, and currently today you have $25,000 in the bank. This could give you the illusion you're making money. But if you owe money on these jobs, these projects, then you could end up, after all these projects are done, with $5,000 or $2,000. This is a crapshoot. This is just like gambling. You have no idea where you're at any particular time, or not even a rough idea. And I've worked for contractors who basically bid a job and do the job. They do all the payroll they can. They take money out of the job, go out and have a good time. And at the end of the job, they make $5,000. That's clear. Job's over with. They paid everybody off. They just kind of got through it. Instead of making $5,000, they might have lost $5,000. They might have made $25,000. This isn't the best way to run a business. And like I said, I've worked with plenty of people who this is exactly how they run their business. If they got 5 or 6 jobs going at one time, they're paying payroll out and getting paid from one person and getting paid from another, and it's just it's all guesswork. You cannot have that. You've got to be able to, you got 5 projects going, and if I was to come up to you and say, hey, where are you at financially on project number 1? And you say, okay, right now we have 60% of the project completed, and we have a profit right now of $9,000 at that point, whatever that stage of the project is. Project number 2, we're down $2,000. We're hoping to make this up by making a few modifications, or cutting back here, or trying to speed up there. This is important. When I said those weren't really good examples for when you get behind on a project. It's tough to make it up. You can't cut back on materials. You can't cut back on labor. What are you going to do? Okay, guys, everybody work harder. Everybody on the project today works an hour for free. This isn't the way to run a business, but this is what you can walk away with if you're tracking your expenses. This will provide you with an excellent template for the next project that's similar to that. You run into a project, whoa, wait a minute, I lost $10,000 on that job. Cost me 10%. I can't, I don't even know if I want to bid that job again. Well, I'll tell you what, now you have a model. You bid the job, and you bid it just like the other job, and you add 10 or 15% to the job. And if you don't get it, that's fine, because this might not be a job you're comfortable doing, or your employees aren't very effective, or dealing with this project or completing it, whatever it is. You've got to figure out what the problem is. And the only way you're going to do that is by knowing exactly where you stand on each particular job all the time. So I worked on a job one time where we were like 2 or 3 buildings into the job, and one of the contractors was upside down $300,000 on the job. And if he was going to keep working at the rate they were working, they would have lost millions. And instead, they sent a guy out there full time to manage the project and get it. When they finished the job, mind you, they lost $100,000 after they'd completed the job. And that might sound like, what a waste of time. What a nightmare. But the truth is, instead of losing millions, they only lost $100,000, and they learned a valuable lesson. They were actually painting contractors who got into the stucco business, and this wasn't a good thing. So again, got to know where you're at, each point of the job, and if you fail with that job, you've got to be able to learn from your mistakes. You can't keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And like I said, I've known plenty of contractors who they will bid a job and they will do the job and they're making money, they have money in the bank account, there's no concern. But they don't really know if they're actually making any money until the job is over with and they've paid their last supplier and they've got their last check and they can see in the bank that they got a positive account or a negative account. And this is the only way they know. You cannot do this. This is vital. You've got to understand if you bid the project in phases, you should be able to go through that project in phases and know exactly where you're at all the time. When you're done with the concrete, you're building a house, foundation's built, you should have a price that you estimated for completion of that section of the job, that part of the job. Your price, if it's $10,000 and you're at $9,000 paid out, you've made $1,000. This is good. If it's $10,000 and it cost you $12,000, this is bad. And you need to try and figure out a way to make that up. You need to try and figure out a way to at least stop it so it doesn't get worse. And it could be your crew. Could be the crew working on the house. Could be the architect, the engineer. Could be all sorts of things, a variety of different. Could be weather conditions. So, but these are the things you've got to know about because this is going to help you bid the next project. Because remember, your main objective as a contractor is to make money. It's not to lose money. And the only way you're going to make money, like I said, is to be proficient at everything. Every part of the project, every part of the process, whatever you're doing, you've got to understand every aspect of it, including your money management.